Hello and welcome to Blackmans Bay Studios. My name's Mick, this is my old mate Keith, and it's been a bit of a while since we've done something for the Craze Past and Present Facebook community, so we thought we'd do something. And what's the subject today, Keith?
Well, you can actually see by your titles, we are going
on the buses.
On the buses, mate, on the buses. Buses, eh? Bane of my life when I was younger. Buses.
Bane of everybody's life if you lived on the Craze.
I couldn't express how much time I've wasted standing around waiting for those poxy things. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But where did it all begin for you, Mick? Your bus.
Well, I suppose you could go back to when I started going on the old Red Rovers, and then the Twin Rovers. I started getting adventurous all over London. So the Red Rovers, I'd say, Keith.
Yeah, well, exactly the same as us. But we would get on a Red Rover when I was, 7 or 8. We'd go all over London, And at that time, I was living down Broomwood Road, so we used to shoot down and get a 51 bus. Didn't have to wait for the 2 to know. We'd be there all fucking day. But so first thing we did, down the 51, get into Footscray, on the 21, straight up the London Bridge, then underground, and the world is your oyster.
That's right, yeah. It's great days.
We'd go everywhere. Science Museum. Always, don't know why, we always made our way to Wembley. Used to get out there and had some great times. We used to toddle up. Yeah, there was half a crown. There's a picture of one of the Red Rovers here. You probably remember him, from when you was a kid. Half a crown. We used to toddle off, get our couple of cheese sandwiches and pickle. Generally we'd eat them by the time we got to Footscray on the 21 bus. We'd have all them munched well away. Always finished up, for some unknown reason again, at the Imperial War Museum.
Went there a few times on the travels.
And that was the days before they fucked it up. Do you remember? It used to be a beautiful old place, and then all of a sudden it went all modern, and it really, to me, it destroyed it. They had a lot of tunnels and all that. You said all those beautiful open spaces with the planes hanging up.
That's right.
It was a fantastic place, and all of a sudden we went there one day and it's all dark and dingy. It was very, very tacky. So
anyway, we're obviously going to be talking about 229s, 51s, and the 492 over at North Cray. Won't be covering that so much. And then along come the R1s and R11s, which were the smaller buses. But as far as we're concerned, the 51 and the 229 was the... and they were, remember, the greatest bus ever built was the Routemaster, Keith. In fact, they built over 2,500 of them, and they went all over the world as well as in London.
Got a picture there.
Yes, and just last Christmas, Sandy and I was on a cruise, and we went into a place called Tauranga, which is the nearest port to Christchurch. And we got off the tender and walked along the jetty, and just have a look what was at the end of the jetty, Keith. Look at that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Is that your RM11 11.3?
No.
RML 11.3 is that one? Is that one?
No, that's the RM 9.8 litre, 0 to 60 in about 2 minutes.
They're very similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But it was quite emotional to see it, Keith. I nearly jumped on board and asked for a 2 bob to the Regal in Sidcup, I tell you.
Yes.
So the great buses, and it's a big but. Although the bus conductors and the drivers seem to be happier in their job than they are on the R1s and R11s, and miserable bastards now, but they were happier, Keith. And do you think there might have been a reason for that, Keith?
I definitely reckon. And look, I put it down to the toolkits they used to take me.
Toolkits?
Yeah.
You need a toolkit to be a bus conductor, do you?
Well, yeah. You've got what is your essential thing that your bus driver needs? And I'm going back now in the 60s and early 70s. What is the most essential thing that he could carry, Mick? What do you think?
I don't know what it could be.
I'll show you. a deck of cards, right? That is your essential toolkit for your driver, right? Now your essential toolkit for your conductor is actually one of them, right? Because these arsehole bus drivers, they used to, especially, I'll tell a story about that in a while, used to get down the garages, they start dealing out a deck of cards, fuck the passengers, mate, and they'd be sitting in there having a game of crib, whatever it was. It don't matter of stuff, you know. And the reason for the electric drill is that I'm going back years ago. I used to walk in the Barley Mow, and there'd always be conductors in there. You remember the old windy up ticket machines, and they'd be winding them back because there's a counter on them, and they'd be going like that, winding back. And then somebody come up with the idea. They've got a little bit of a tool and put it on the end of a drill, and they're winding them back, so the old like that, you know. So they used to go down some bloke's house, lived along just down the road from the club, to wind all their machines back, because they all got a bit of bouncing, didn't they? And that is probably why, mate. They're more than happy.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
You know, I'll guarantee you, once your computerisation came in, you know, they was basically stuffed.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they had a bit more characters about them, didn't they? I mean, we had the opera singing bus driver. I don't know if anyone remembers him.
Yeah.
I mean, be upstairs and you'd just hear a racket. I mean, he might have been a good singer, but when he's in that little driver's compartment, it was just a racket, you know.
Yeah.
But he seemed happy in his job anyway.
Oh, you know.
Probably won at cards.
But you know, coming out of St Mary Cray Station, especially in the snow and the rain and the sleet, and you'd be waiting there, and of course 229 buses, they cut one out, you know, and there's that big a queue. You knew you had no chance of getting on it, so what did you do? You walked down the hill to the bottom there by Seven Oaks Way and waited at that bus stop. Many's the time I've done that and the bus started to come up fuck nil, but I mean, you know, that's your luck of the draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
So ended up we could go down there and get on the bus until such times as everybody was doing it. So when they came out and saw the queue, instead of waiting in the bus queue, they were straight down to the bottom, and it ended up down there as bed. I've got a picture of the stop. Have a look at this. This is a picture of the stop. And I've done it. But, I mean, look at it. I've done it. Have you stood there?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And it makes me shudder now, you know, to think how many hours I've spent, you know. And go on.
So what are we left with now? We're left with the smaller buses, the R1s and R11s, which I remember them sending a flyer around to everybody before they introduced them to tell you they was bringing them in, and that the bus drivers would be part of the community. I thought, yeah, they will. That didn't last long. Now, I mean, do you know what? I was down the bottom of midfield, and I put my hand out, and it was a woman driving, and she was like a zombie. She just drove straight past me, and luckily enough, a 51 come along just afterwards, and because the R11 had to go up to Tesco's and round the other way, so I was right behind it at Foots Cray. So when we turned round and left at the lights at Foots Cray, I jumped off the bus as quick as I could, and I ran up and I stuck my head in and said, "Why aren't you picking up passengers anymore?" And she didn't know what I was talking about. She was didn't know what she was doing because she was so bored.
Yeah.
Do you remember Barry Hooper, the dart player?
Yeah.
He told me his dad got a job on driving them our buses, 10 hours a day sitting in that chair. He said it's the worst job he's ever had. I'll tell you who else was on it, and old Dave Lye. You know Dave Lye?
I remember Dave
the old
Lye,
governor of the Partridge.
Yeah.
He ended up on there. He always looked miserable on there and all.
I worked in Lagoon Road down at St Mary Cray there. And I'd come out of there to get a bus home. And the amount of times that we've just stood and waited. And there's one particular night, I stood there for about an hour and a half. People all around. And this is no word of exaggeration, 6 229 buses went the other way and not one of them came back. Not one. You remember the inspectors used to drive around in those little minivans with the the lit up
roundel on it.
You know, the lit up London Transport sign on the top. I spotted one of them coming down the road, so I jumped in the middle of the road, and I've called this geezer. I've had a right go at him. You know, he got out. What's the problem? I said, what's the problem? I said, 6 boxy buses have gone up there. I said, I've been waiting here, you know, hour and a half, and I said, and I tell you, I said, even if we're waiting an hour, I said, there's a bus due every quarter of an hour here. I said, and that's 5 buses an hour. I said, and you arseholes, I said, you let them play up their car, you know, giving it all that, you know. And he went smug like that, he said, a bus every 15 minutes is only 4 buses an hour, not 5. So I went, 1 on the hour, 1 at 1:15, 1 at 1/2, 1 at 1:45, 1 on the hour. That's fucking 5 in my book. There should be 4 every 45 minutes, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, sheepishly went off, and then, I mean, as usual, you know, 2 came along at once, you know. I just wonder if they won the pot, you know, or something like that, and they just, you know, decided.
Well, the record for me at the bottom of Midfield Way was 5 51s come along at one time. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems unbelievable, but that's what happened.
Yeah, you know, I suppose it might be different now. They all got GPS on them. They can't do it, can they?
No.
That's why they're as miserable as fuck.
Mind you, if you want to catch the last R11 at Sidcup High Street, you can guarantee that it's going to be at least 20 minutes late, because they sit up there doing where they've always got some young girl in tow. Some of these bus drivers, aren't they?
Yeah.
And because they can drive all the way up to Farnborough, because it's only a few people get on and off, and they can arrive at Farnborough at the right time.
Yeah.
But they can get more time doing whatever they're doing up Queen Mary's Hospital.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, I was in the Partridge one night, and Charlie Henry come walking in after he'd been at work, and he was laughing his head off. I said, "What are you laughing at?" He said, "This morning," he said, "I went down the bus stop." He said, "And there's an old boy down there, about 80, this geezer." And he said to me, he said, "You know," he said, "I've been waiting here an hour for a bus, an hour." And he looked up in the sky, and there was a big jumbo jet came over, sailed over, must have been in the holding pattern for, you know, Gatwick. And he said, so Charlie said, he said to me, he said, "Look at that," he said, "I've been stood here," he said, "there's 4 of them gone over by the time I've stood here, taking people all over the world." He said, "I only want to go fucking Sidcup." You know, I mean, he's right, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
That is 100% right, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you know, like I say, we pictures snows and buses. Oh, don't, you know.
I've been waiting at that bus stop outside St Mary Craig Station, and it's been that cold that I've had to try and stand on my heels because my feet are that cold waiting for a bus. And then when it come along, I've just about got on it, you know, just about.
I think we told this story before, but it's worth doing it again for some of the newer people. There used to be, outside St Mary Craig Station, at the bus stop, used to be a big long green bench. It was probably 10 foot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that big long green bench? Anyway, some Herberts have picked that bench up, took it through St Mary Craig Station to the other side, and popped it down on the street, the other side of St Mary Craig Station. And a couple of coppers were talking to the porter. You know, they used to have a porter back in, you remember when they used to have porters back in those days, you know? Talking to the porter at the St Mary Craig Station. And they said to him, "Did you see anybody with a big green bench walking through here?" And this porter went, "Do you know, I believe I did. I mean, if I'd have seen people with a fucking 10-foot green bench, I'd have remembered it, wouldn't you?" You know, you go, "Yeah, I believe I did."
Yeah.
And it weren't even Jacko, was it?
I remember Jacko, yeah.
But yeah, so buses, mate, Bamery in my life.
It sure is.
You know, I mean, you know, if I stood on tiptoes, looked out my bedroom window, I could just see a 229 coming up the past your place, you know,
Yeah.
down the Grovelands here. So I knew if I get the coat on and whip round the corner,
Yeah.
we was in there like.
Well, I used to wait at the top of the stairs in my house, and I'd see the bus up St Paul's Hill just to come round from Mickleham,
Yeah.
and I could run down and get the bus, so I didn't have to wait for it. So
Yeah.
at least I was waiting in the warm.
I used to get caught halfway between stops if you decide to walk. The bastard thing would come round the corner, you know. God, it's so frustrating.
Would he
bollocks? The only good thing about the old buses now, though, you could jump off at corners, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
And on if you was
right.
if you was lucky to get to it, you could step on the bloody thing.
Speaking of which, the last Route Master bus that went into operation in 1976 at Sidcup Garage.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Wow. You're a mind of information,
I know,
aren't you?
I
You're
know.
a mind of information. Well, I think that's our little foray into buses, mate, isn't it? You know.
It brought back memories for us,
Oh,
didn't it?
did, yeah.
Some
You know,
good, some bad.
Yeah.
Mainly
Yeah.
bad.
You know, it does make me it does make me laugh when you think about what we, you know, there's 8-year-old kids, 7-8-year-old kids going all over London.
Yeah.
Not a worry in the world.
No.
You know, you wouldn't let your kid walk over the street, over the park now, would you?
No.
You know, not a worry in the world.
I mean, I used to go out, say 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, come home 10 o'clock at night on a twin rover. And my mum, who could worry for England, she said, "How was it? All right?" Yeah, she never. It was. You could do those sort of things in those days, couldn't you?
Yeah, I remember losing my Red Rover, and somehow, and I don't even know how I did it, I ended up making my way to Tommy Straff's place, Pat Straff, with Pat Riding now, and Pat's on the Facebook group. And I was only 7 years old, and they lived in a street called Redway, in a block of flats. And I don't know how, you know, if you ask a kid today, these days, how to find it, it wouldn't, you know, I don't even remember how I, you know, found it. Anyway, I got myself there, and Tommy and Eileen gave me my bus fare home, so it was all right, you know.
Yeah.
But so, you know, a lifesaver.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise I've been on the phone to the old bill, wouldn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
So that's about it.
That's
Keith,
about
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah, we'll just have to sit here thinking about what we're going to say at our next mini.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, all right. Oh, thanks for watching.
Thanks very much.
It's been
Bye-bye.
been a pleasure. Bye.
This has been a Blackmans Bay studio production.